Kwame's on the other side, Kwame Ofori, who's a journalist and initially I said music producer, but he's not taking that title, so
Nope. I'm a radio producer.
Yeah, so let me say how I found you on Instagram. So this is, I'm always looking around for what is happening around the world, with the world of music, African music, African entertainment, and I came across your page where you interview artists. I'll let you talk about, exactly what you do, but I thought it was interesting, shining light on our music. We, by our names, you can tell that we both Ghanaians. We'll find out where you're from in Ghana, but, what was striking was the passion that you put into your presentation. Like you, how do I put it? Like you're doing a job that you love, you don't need extra motivation when you're doing something that you've got passion for. And it tells on the screen, with that bright smile. What exactly did you do, Kwame? Because I know you wear many hats, so you can break them down. You literally wearing one too.
Yep. What do I do? That's an interesting question. Okay, let me start from, I work with the Voice of America. I work there as, a journalist and a radio producer. And also, I co-host a segment on, one of our flagship shows called Music Time in Africa. We broadcast across the continent and the world if you're listening online. But on the continent, we broadcast on several FM streams in most of the countries on the continent. So yeah, that's what I do. I also produce 2 podcasts. That Sincerely Accra and the Boga podcast. Yeah, for an organization called the Gold Coast Report. So yeah.
Sincerely Accra.
Yeah.
That's a really catchy name, It's a city we love. I grew up in Accra, so, I schooled.
Oh, same here.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I schooled in Accra, my primary school, and went away to secondary school in Cape Coast and came back to university in Accra. So it's a city that I know quite well. I've been through all the nice spots, all the day spots, the beaches, the tiptoe lanes, where. Hey. Yes.
All right.
So what's your childhood memory of Accra, bro?
Childhood memory of Accra. I mean, I also grew up in Accra. I only left Accra after I was done with Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So I grew up in Accra, went to university in Kumasi, and then relocated to America for work. So childhood is really half of my teenage to young adult life. Accra was fun. Accra has always been a very lively place, colorful, interesting, especially for me who has lived in Kumasi and can compare to Kumasi. Accra is always fast paced. So yeah, definitely my earliest childhood my childhood has always been Accra being very fast paced and very colorful.
The other side of it is I actually love Kumasi. So anytime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been to Kumasi a few times. My first time was on a family trip with my dad and my bro. This was like early 90s, thereabout, we had that road trip through to Obuasi. And then when we're coming back, we went through Kumasi again. But my proper experience of Kumasi was when I was a Legon. We came to Tech for the Cuba games. if you're familiar with that. I think it got cancelled after our time.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, because the level of activity in Kumasi within that period was just way too much to bear.
Yeah, you are showing your age because that got cancelled a long time ago.
So this is about 2003. Yeah, I left Legon in 2004. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that was the last time the Cooper Games ever happened. So we're partly to blame for ruining the fun for everyone else. But I loved Kumasi. You know, what was interesting was we found it really cheaper to live in Kumasi.
It is actually.
Yeah, we found it really cheap. So things that we'll buy in Accra for, serious sums of money, we come to Kumasi and so the boys really had fun. They descended on the town properly.
Kumasi is, I call it a chill place. It's very chill, relaxed, not too expensive. Unlike Accra, where you go buy fufu safe, it's a problem.
You need to carry a bag of money.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie.
Bag of money. Boutique. We call it boutique fufu,
Exactly. Yeah, Charlie.
But interesting times though. Your day job is shedding light on a continent you're from. How is that different from any other journalistic stuff you've done?
So my day job being shedding light on the continent and it being different, I would say it almost feels like you're carrying the weight of the continent on your shoulder, because you've been given a big platform. God has blessed you to be in a position where when you speak, it goes far. I mean, all the countries on the continent get to hear my voice together with Heather. She is the host of that show. I just co-host a segment with her. Yes, the whole continent gets to hear your voice and gets to hear your opinion on music, African music, and even sometimes American music when we are making comparisons. So you always have to make sure that what you are presenting is unbiased, is truthful, and then it makes sense. So even though of course everyone has their personal givens, like their biases, but you can't let that seep through. You always have to be as objective as possible, especially when it comes to African music.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the difference. That wide platform and the seriousness with which people listen to the program across the continent. Yeah.
But it's a joy, you fact check yourself, particularly if it's from Ghana.
Oh my God.
you can't go on with any unchecked facts. You've got to just make sure that everything is thorough, like I said.
Yes.
But how do you keep the balance though? That is not Ghana centric.
Being from Ghana myself?
Yeah.
So for me, personally, the kind of household I grew up in, I would say helped, because growing up, my dad with all his vinyl played music from across like different genres. So Bob Marley and the Wailers, to Zobla Zoman and Freddie Merway.
Oh, legend, man.
Exactly. So I had different tastes, and even though I love Ghanaian music, it's like I would always want to explore, or I've always been interested in other music from other places. So finding myself in this position, it's easier, I would say, for me compared to maybe others who are maybe from Ghana and they're in that box of Ghanaian music. So balancing it comes to me naturally. I'll listen to music from Ghana. Tomorrow I want to listen to music from Tanzania, maybe a Rayvanny, or I want to listen to music from South Africa, Masego, so it's easy. And that, I guess in the position I am in, it helps. So
that's all. Yeah. You mentioned an interesting point. I think every Ghanaian parent had a Bob Marley, either CD or record.
Yes. Oh, yes.
One of the first music I made for friends was a Bob Marley compilation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had that bragging right. This is late 90s again, showing my age there. He's
showing his age, people.
as a 9-year-old, my dad came to Ghana. He was living in Germany then, so brought those stack of CDs and just copying that record, from the vinyl itself. We had the vinyl and the CD. So playing that vinyl and hearing that sound, I think it gave me a feeling that I should one day, own a, a turntable. So when I got my first turntable, that memory was the first that came to mind, hearing that distinct vinyl sound,
Yes.
Let's go ahead, distinct, the groove that they call it. Yeah, it was incredible, man. Exactly. But I think every Ghanaian household had a Bob Marley sound, Natural Mystic. Yeah. My favorite track till date, anytime I play it just takes me straight back to when I first heard it in the late 80s. Yeah. So, it's very true. It's built our diverse taste. One, friend I was speaking to the other time mentioned that that's why we have a lot of, Ghanaian DJs and a lot of Ghanaian presenters, and they get a lot of Ghanaians, in music, across the globe, if you look at it. It's because of how our foundation was shaped, music-wise. Yes. And that's
very true.
Yeah. So with your travels, I mean, let's talk one more thing about your job. You get to interview so many, guests from different countries, who have you sat down with that you were starstruck?
Okay. So, EL has come through our studios before. We've had Renard the Gentleman. Now he was something else. And then it's actually, let me see. And then we've had Rayvanny from Tanzania, whose story was quite interesting. But if I had to pick out of the lot, off the top of my head, I'll say Renard the Gentleman and Rayvanny. And I'll explain why. Renard the Gentleman he's a Ghanaian producer and artist. And Rayvanny is, a Tanzanian artist. For those of you who don't know, especially since this is being broadcast in Ghana. Rayvanny's story, let me start with. I had never really encountered him until we were told, Rayvanny is coming to your studios. And with us, we do extensive research, like you mentioned earlier. We make sure we know, what our artist is about, where they are coming from, what has influenced their music, where they intend to go, the whole 9 yards. So I was reading on him and I was like, okay, this guy has an interesting story because it's almost like a grass to grace sort of story, and people have sort of, familiarized with him. They've come to love him. So I was like, okay, I need to see this guy. I entered the studio and, I was on another show before I had to go, join Heather to interview him. I entered the studio and I see this guy, in blonde hair. Blonde, like super blonde hair. And then he's in a jacket and it's late summer. So August into September. So it's not really cold. So I entered the studio, I was like,
It's going to be interesting.
This is about to be interesting. So I sat down and, he is a very humble guy. Very, very, very humble guy. He, despite the appearance, you can see that grass to grace humility is still there. He knows where he's coming from and he knows where he wants to go to. So even though right now, Sikana Befie, Accra, yeah, he's not trying to act like, I'm Rayvanny, because he has a large following, in Tanzania. He's under, Wasafi, Records. That's by Diamond Platinum. Yeah. So, he was very calm. He was very friendly as well. So that was one interview that struck me. Another interview, which I, touched on was, Renard the Gentleman. Now, Renard is a Ghanaian producer artist and he's been in the industry for a while. So he came here to work on some music in the US. And, I'd heard he was around. I'd been following him over the years. I was like, okay, hey, come, you're in the States, come to our studio, let's interview you, Ghanaian brother. And one thing for me is, even though I try to be as objective as possible, at the same time, I try and put, our Ghanaian brothers' music on our platform, because it's a huge platform. More than half of them don't even know I'm doing this, where like we find their music and actually have it played on our platform. So he was like, cool. So, Renard came through, and for him, we didn't, like, it was okay, I'm coming through quickly. So it was more of Heather and I were winging it, So he came through, and then we were talking to him, and it was really eye-opening. This boy is super talented. He's a multi-instrumentalist. So almost every instrument he can play. He's produced for people like Manifest, Efia, Medical, Medical's Ayiko, he produced it, Manifest, Menewa, featuring Kim Promise, he produced it.
That's my favorite track.
Exactly. Great songs. Efia's, song titled Love, he produced it as well, and he's worked with various artists. And he is also an artist himself. He has, I think, 2 albums out, Bittersweet and then The Magic in the Ordinary. And we listened to his music, and Heather is, an American. She's white. But I mean, she studied, she has a PhD in ethnomusicology. And then she knows how to speak Bambara and all of that. So I call her, Akosia.
Yeah.
Cause she studied in Legon as well for a bit during her PhD stint. And Heather listened to it, and she was like, wow, like, this is your music? And he was like, yeah, this is what I do. And I heard it too. I mean, I'm familiar with his music, but the joy of, a white lady who is not really familiar with his music, hearing Renard and actually enjoying it and going like, why haven't I, heard of you? It struck me. It made me feel like, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this, to make sure the world hears the talents that are in my country and on the continent. And since then, Renard's music Renard has become like a friend of our show.
Yeah.
Anytime he releases new music, we play it every single time, because the boy is just too talented to just, allow the Ghanaian system to crush him. And it surprises me even the more, because if you've worked with people like Manifest, if you work with people like In Promise and Medical, these people should be putting you on. These people should be telling people, oh yeah, I worked with this producer. And Ayiko is arguably one of, Medical's biggest songs. The one where he was praising Fela before, I think, their wedding. Ghanaian artists should be talking more about producers who have helped them build their repertoire. But unfortunately, we don't see that. So I do what I can, but our people also need to change their mentality. So yeah, these are the 2 interviews that struck me.
Absolutely. That's a conversation I had with Jay So on my last episode, of the Soundboy Session. That's actually on all platforms now. Shameless plug on my own show. But we talked about the producers, the appreciation for producers, particularly in Africa, is I know it's changing now with the DSPs making sure that producers are kind of they get their due on records. Like, everybody see the production credits and they know who they are. But I think, rightly said, artists should be giving those in the background also some shine,
Yeah.
Because if you look at the American industry, producers are, if not wealthier even than the artists, because some of them make even more money than the artists themselves, just because of how well they've been profiled. Because if you talk about just the talent, there are so many of them there, but it's the package itself. So it's always a good thing, like you said, that we bring some of these people to the fore. So same ethics, that's what I do on my show, to give shine to those who don't normally get the shine, not because they are not good, but it's because they're not at the right place at the right time, or they don't have the opportunity of getting some of these big corporations, pushing them. So I try to get as much behind the scenes people like producers, whether it's for radio shows or television or music or even films and videos. So I feel with the same kind of push, things are going to change. People are going to see that as, deserving, of artists and producers alike to be on the forefront. Because without them, I don't think you can have the music, without the producers, because they've got to make sure that it sounds right. Even your own record, your arrangement and everything, the producers play a huge part in it. But looking at where our music is now, what's been the most proudest or that you've seen our music get to, apart from, being on some mainstream channels now? What else has struck you about our music, the African music in general?
What has struck me really, it's been a moving train, and I think it's still moving, but we are almost getting to our destination. Almost. Just yasuna heading into an destination yet. But the advent of Afrobeat was the beginning of everything. And I know if you have Nigerian listeners listening to this, I'm sorry guys, but no matter what you say, you guys have the numbers, you guys can shout. But the truth is the truth. Fact is fact. Afrobeat, right? Which is what we are enjoying now. All right. And Afrobeat without the S, which, Fela
Kuti,
came up with, all have a Ghanaian influence. I'll start with Afrobeat. Fela, when he started, and where I work, Voice of America, we are privileged to have an extensive music library starting from 1960 and even before. And right now we've donated it to a university here in America. But we are lucky to have original recordings from certain artists and music groups who back in the day didn't even have, studios to go to. So VOA would go to them. Sarkeesian, that's his name. He used to be part of us, but may his soul rest in peace, he passed. Very nice man. He would go to the continent in a truck and go village to village or town to town, find these artists and record them. So that's how come we have some of these original sounds. And we had a Fela record, which was High Life. This was before Fela started Afrobeat, and right after he returned from London from his studies, and he tried to do this whole group thing there, didn't really work. He went to Ghana to be influenced by the high life music, and during that time, we had so many high life groups. Accra alone had over 80, high life groups.
Oh yeah.
So the high life was intense. It was a movement, just like Afrobeat right now, it's a movement. So Fela went to Ghana. He was influenced by that high life groove, and then he released a high life record. But that didn't really go far. Then the whole political upheaval in Nigeria started, and then he decided to switch up a bit. He got creative, and then he allowed some of the Ghanaian high life with his ingenuity to influence what became Afrobeat. And that became, they call it a Fela sound, with the horns and everything. Interestingly, we had a Ghanaian artist who was also doing same at that time. His name escapes me right now, but they've tried to relaunch him, and it's doing well. When the name comes to mind, I'll mention his name.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's still alive. He's someone I listen to every morning. I'm surprised I don't remember his name right now, but I'll definitely remember and mention his name. And then down to Afrobeat as it is, with the Davidos and, Wizkids and all that. They also were doing, Nigerian would say R&B, when Wizkid started. with Banky W and all of those people, you know, Two-Face, you know, they were just trying to, they were mimicking that American R&B flair with, you know, some sounds, but they hadn't coined a word for it. Then, you know, they all started coming to Ghana. So Wizkid will go visit R2B's, you know, Papa Ranking he schooled in Ghana for a bit. You know, all these people. And then they heard that Ghanaian groove that was going, you know, that groove that, trickled down from High Life into Bugger High Life, then Hip Life. Then from Hip Life, we had this whole Hip Life groove, but then it was influenced heavily by the R&B wave that was going through the world at that time when Chris Brown and all those people were coming up. That influenced us as well, but it was still Hip Life. You know, that's how KK Fusu and the rest came through.
So the melodies,
when they,
with the
melodies. There you go. So then when they came through and then they realized, oh, Ghanaian Hip Life, High Life has this, you know, interesting groove to it. We can jump on it with whatever we are doing already, that R&B groove we are having, and then, you know, sell it. So these people came, studied the groove. That's how come, like some 5-6 years ago, almost every song would have like a banku or a shito or do, you know, because they had all come to Ghana, you know, studied the language a bit, studied the groove. And then, they went back to Nigeria. And when they went back to Nigeria, the beautiful thing that happened was, you know, they all banded together and went like, hey, guys, Niger be very hard, but we know we'll carry last. You know, we need to make sure that we do something that will bring us money and bring us recognition. Hence Afrobeat. And, you know, right now, Burna Boy is basically holding the flag and running with it. No disrespect to the others, but he's the one who has been very active for the past 2 years. Wizkid is now trying to release his new album. Hopefully that will also take off. But Burna Boy has been pushing for Afrobeat. And even he admitted on, I think, BBC Extra that where he felt at peace, where he felt at home was Ghana. You know, so Ghana has always played an influence in Afrobeat and Afrobeat as it is, you know. So for the Ghanaian pride, it's always been there. I've always known that Ghana has always influenced West African music. Miss Bell 16 Years, when it was released back then, was the biggest song to hit West Africa. Also Fefenefe by BIP. So we've always been there. It's just unfortunate we don't realize our greatness, and it's known. Once you don't realize how great you are, someone will come in and then make it theirs, and then it's almost like you sold your birthright. But once you sell your birthright, that's it. Like it's no more yours, and that's what Nigeria has done. They saw your hip life and your high life, saw how good it was because you weren't seeing it, you weren't marketing it well. Took it to Nigeria, added their own Niger sauce, and then flew with it. And now it's huge. And now Ghana is trying to play this whole catch up. Like, oh yeah, Afrobeat, you know, it's yours. The base is yours.
But as a Ghanaian, you know, if you're looking in from the angle that, you know, you've summed up perfectly, you know, how does it feel for you? What's the attempt you make to correct that narrative? Because it's like the whole world is seeing what is happening. Let me just digress a little bit. With the American market being so open to almost all the artists now are like new artists to the American market. They wouldn't know, you know, a VIP from anyone else. They wouldn't have that background. So someone like Burna, Afrobeat, they've been able to like jump straight to the forefront in the American market, and the Americans feel that is the way maybe Afrobeat has or started, or they are the pioneers of the genre, you know. But with you, with a Ghanaian lens looking in, how does it feel for you, bro?
Well, you can't.
I know why we are laughing, because we get these scenarios every single time. It's like, it's been taken away from you, and you know very well that this is ours, like you explained.
It's sad. Like, I'm a big proponent of, you can't hate on someone's hustle.
No.
Niger understands the game. They have decided to band together and push the game. So you can't hate on their hustle. But at the same time, it hurts. It really hurts, because you know that this big wave, that's flowing through, Africa, through the world, called Afrobeat, at its base, at its core, has something that belongs to your country, which is Ghana. That's hip life and high life. No one can take it away. Mr. Easy, I know some 3 years ago tried to, say it, and Nigerians descended on him and they were insulting him and all that, but it was fact. At the base of Afrobeat is hip life, high life, and it's painful that people from our country, which is Ghana, do not understand this. Artists from our country, Ghana, do not understand this. If you understand that, hey, if Nigeria has been able to be influenced heavily by our music, something we've taken for granted for a long time, why don't we also hold on to it, market it better and push it to the world? You understand? Because at the end of the day, the mimicry is flattery, but the original will always hold.
Of course. But some say that the scale of investment is a very determining factor, strong one. As well.
Ghanaian, Ghanaian people right now, I would say, are interested in what brings money home fast. They don't understand the concept of investing in art. And that's a sad, very sad thing that happens in our country. Because I remember Nigerians understood the concept of investing in music and branding it for the international market when African Queen by Two-Face Idibia came out.
Classic.
Yes. As soon as it came out, and then it landed in Fat Girls, the movie with Monique, and then like a light bulb just clicked. They were like, okay, this is how far music can go. So the African Queen video, there was an original, and then after Fat Girls came out, and then like the money came because of music rights and all that, they reshot another video, and then they pushed it into the American market. You see, and that was a smart move right there. And for them, it was like, okay, once we invest, it means one, our name gets out there. And even though the money will not come, boom, immediately, once we keep pushing, it will come through. But Ghanaian investors, Charlie, the last time Ghanaians really, really invested in music was Burger High Life. When people would, give money to the artist and say, oh, you could trap power. And during the song, they'll say,
the shout outs, man. There is no highlight without the shout outs, bro.
Because Charlie, all not to come out, could trap power, no. So you have to give the shout out, and then on the CD, you say executive produced by so and so and so and so. But now Ghanaian investors, the rich people in Ghana, businessmen, venture capitalists, they don't care. They enjoy the music. These are the same people who you go for a party and they are listening to Afrobeat. They are trying to invite Wizkid and Pato Ranking and all these people to come and sing at their weddings. But if you say also great artists, great music, and you don't want to invest in them, rather, rather you would want to invest in real estate that no one will come and stay in. This is not shade, but it's true. We all know it. They're rather investing in real estate no one can really afford right now. And then they are leaving the arts. They are leaving the arts unattended too. And it's a problem. So yes, definitely a two-faced problem. Artists not understanding their worth, and then investors not understanding the worth of the music industry.
Yeah, probably, well summed up. But we are proud of where it is now. There's always...
And you're bad.
Yeah. It can always get better. Yes, it can always get better. Quality of music, has always been there.
Yes.
If you dig deeper, you would realize that, a lot of the music that should be dominating are not the ones really dominating. People, it's polarized, there are so many reasons why, but quality, I'm really excited about where we are in terms of the quality of music. Yeah. But we tend to get that gimmick dominating our scene, which is it's taking the space where the quality should be. That's another conversation for another day.
So, just to touch on that briefly, Ghanaians have always had, we grew up listening to a certain, style and type of music, but we've always had varied taste. We've always had varied taste. So there's always room for the gimmicky people to, work out a niche for themselves and, enjoy some airplay. So I'm not surprised. Like I say, I never hate on anyone's hustle.
No.
You can't always have a Kodrenchi or a Dabi Lumba. Yeah. Sometimes you need a Joe Fraser and then, people like that to also come through and then create some fun out of the music.
Yeah. It's entertainment at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's entertainment.
But, it shouldn't be what our music should be.
Yes. That's exactly it. It shouldn't define us. It should be a fringe, on the side thing. Like the fact that One Corner became one of the biggest songs that came out, in 2018 from Ghana. Papa, good job. Hey, I'm not hating on your hustle. It's entertainment. Everyone is in for the money first before the talent. But, we have great talent. People who, go to the studio, they record live music and all that. And they don't even have 1,000 streams going on Spotify from Ghanaians in Ghana and the diaspora, and which is sad.
I think the reason being, Spotify is not on the market. People, I don't know how they manage to get to use Spotify in Ghana, but.
So if we don't have Spotify, what are the DJs doing?
Good question.
What are the Ghanaian DJs doing on air?
Good question. Promote your own.
Exactly.
Promote your own. Because, that's one of the lessons I learned from the UK industry. As soon as the DJs came together, those in the industry realized that we have content here to promote. And as soon as that level of approach that I think it's you can confidently say that that's the reason why UK music is dominating the charts now.
Yeah.
Because of that conscious effort by DJs to start pushing, making it mainstream. Nobody's going to make it mainstream if those in the mainstream are not pushing it. So we can also do the same with our music. Yeah. I know Afrobeat has become that dominant force as well around the world because of the push from the UK. Without the UK, the world wouldn't have had anything like Afrobeat.
No, like
the level of support here is incredible.
You guys for clap for yourself. You guys were, you guys really were, or are the reason why Afrobeat is Afrobeat today. Like, even again, people like Mr. Easy naming his album Accra to London, that should tell you something. Like, London is where it's at. London is the place that, the DJs, like you said, came together and they were like, Charlie, if we don't do this thing, yeah, for we, because we have great content, and you guys pushed it like hard. It's ODG and all these people, Wizkid came to London, shot a couple of videos, did a whole tour. Easy saying, Charlie, easy. So London for this.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you to our American folks. Thanks for that, man. But listen, we need to catch up properly anytime you're in London. Have a sit down and go in depth. Get behind behind the hats, you know.
Oh, I'm always available.
See everything that you're touching on. But just before we go, I know you're great on Instagram. You give us entertaining videos all the time. We can only share that kind of limelight with the rest of the world, because it's important that we get to choose song of the week you pick.
Song of the week.
Yeah. On
Music Time in Africa on the Voice of America.
And your selection is actually incredible. One of the ones I actually enjoyed, FOKN boys.
Oh yeah.
Well, the music. These are my guys. Yeah. One Love, the Kubolo. His first album. He actually got a lot of support in the UK. Because he launched it here. He launched the first album here, the Green Card, and having to be one of the DJs to play first. Because this is somebody I grew up with in the same area. We went to secondary school in the same city in Ghana, Cape Coast. Yeah. So his story was always interesting to me. And to see where his journey, his career has been. But just watching that and your colleague, FOKN, I'm sure the actual pronunciation of that,
I do. Yo, bro, that selection, it was interesting in the office. So, a little backstory to that. Heather and I, that was the host of the show. We always, for Song of the Week, we rotate. Heather picks the song sometimes. I pick the song sometimes. That keeps it very well balanced because Heather is a master at music from, Northern Africa, Mali, Bambara, and she's also good with the rest of the continent. So I really respect her a lot and her choices. And equally, she respects me and my choices. So we rotate on who takes the Song of the Week. So I follow FOKN boys. I love their music. And then I realized, Account Balance was out. That's from their EP, Afrobeat LOL or something like that. Yes. Basically, I heard an interview saying they were trying to create an EP that teases Afrobeat for what it is, but ended up creating a very dope Afrobeat, EP. So I noticed they had released Account Balance. Beautiful video, I must say. And I was like, I'm excited for this video. But FOKM boys are very liberal with their words in their videos and then in their songs. So I had to first check, say, Charlie, if they've not said anything crazy. And I was like, okay, nothing crazy. Check the video, everything checked out, J. Now it was left with how I was going to pronounce their name to Heather and the team in the office. I was like, hey, guys, so we have a group this week that, I have a new video called Account Balance. Check them out. I didn't mention their name. I left it like that. And then me. So I left it like that and then, they watched it, they loved it. And they were like, oh, we love it. But what is your name? Then I noticed, I was like, well, they are called FOKN boys. And we're like, wait, but it didn't have like a ... Like it's not an acronym. Yeah. I was like, well, that's what they choose to call themselves. FOKN boys. They're like, are you sure? Like, what does FOKN stand for? I was like, well, the day we have them in the studio, you can ask them. But for now, they are called FOKN boys.
They will say it's called Friends of Kwame Nkrumah.
Thank you very much. But we all know
that's the safest way to put it.
Exactly. And because of that conversation, my people in the office, Heather and the team, got excited. And even our boss watched the video and she got excited, sent it to her son, and everyone was excited for the video and the song. And that was a proud moment for me because I felt like this is great Ghanaian music that, people in America in my office who are white people, love. They heard the music one time and that's all it took. And it saddened me at the same time that FOKM boys who are great with their music, they don't enjoy as much airplay back home in Ghana. You know, it really, really, really saddens me, and I hope that picks up. You know, it has to. People outside of the country cannot be more excited than your own people about your music, especially when your music is that good. People like Wiala, FOK and boys, even Reynolds, the gentleman. You know, Ghanaians have to, even if their music, the style of music is not your cup of tea, let them enjoy the airplay. Not everyone likes the typical. Some people like French or alternative music. You know, play it. Just let them send you radio edit versions and play it on your radio station. Because we outside, we are trying our best. But home ground, Charlie, they have to try harder. So we can stand on something and also push them further outside here.
Home love is important, man.
Very important.
That's why I take so much joy having a show weekly on primetime radio in Ghana on YFM. It's, I don't take it lightly at all. I don't take it for granted. It means so much to me that you get to spread the love where your love grew, you know, where your love germinated and blossomed. I love that fact. But shouts to Mensa and Kobolodo. Yeah.
For sure.
For what they're doing. I mean, they've stuck to their grounds, and two talented brothers, you know. Mensa as a producer, even One Love as a producer as well. You know, two talented individuals. I have a Mensa story that next time I'll tell you.
I think Mensa's Fancy Love song, to me, this is, anyone listening to this, please, this is just me, or my mom quoting me anywhere. Mensa's Fancy Love song, to me, is one of the greatest love songs from Ghana. Respect to all the old love songs during the palm wine high life era. I respect and love those. Those are also super great. But contemporary Ghanaian, you know, high life music, Mensa producing Fancy Love song. That song, it was produced on a high life melody. To me, is one of the best love songs ever. The writing, the production, the melody, the singing, Mensa singing on there was just beautiful. And it's a song that will last forever, if you ask me. I agree.
100% agree. Yeah. He's from a talented family too, you know. So, the dad and you know, he himself. Man, my brother, Kwame.
Hey.
Yeah. Where do we find you on your socials? If you give us your handle.
Okay. So everywhere you can think about, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everywhere is Mr. Asante. Mr. MR _ and then ASANTE Asante. So Mr. Asante. Everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Everywhere you can think about, I'm there.
Continue to spread the love, bro.
Charlie,
we appreciate what you're doing. The continent appreciate you too, you know. And hopefully, once things are clear and you're in London, just make sure you shout me out. We need to sit down and have that proper food. Proper conversation, get more deeper, into your background and, you know, how you managed to get yourself to this stage. But it's been brilliant, you know, touching on how the music is moving around the world, you know, how, the American, market sees it, you know, from that perspective. It's important that we have that insight. I'm sure it will benefit a lot of artists listening back home. If you're listening on Spotify or you're listening on the radio, at least you can share that knowledge with your friends too, because it's important that you work to the market standards as well. In as much as we encourage people to stand out, you've got to know what the market is like, so you'll be able to stand out correctly, not just jump out.
Very important, and I mean for all the artists and people lovers of music who want to hear insights or our show, they can always if you're in Accra, you can tune in to VOA 98.1 or check out our website, voanews.com, and then listen to Music Time in Africa. You hear Heather and myself talking about African music, sometimes Ghanaian music. So if you love the broad, you know, African sound, just tune in and then we'll throw some, you know, insights at you, some fun times and some great music. Yeah.
And anytime I'm in the States, I'll definitely let you know. You know, big up Heather too. Big up Heather. At least, we both, have an association at Legon. So yes. There's some level of love there. So send her my Legon love.
I definitely
tell her
will.
that it's from a Vandal brother. Commonwealth.
She actually was affiliated to Commonwealth when she was. So you guys would have a lot of things to talk about for sure. Yeah.
Oh, my brother. All the best too. And
all right. All the best to you.
Keep shining. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon.
You too. Have a great one and thanks for the interview.
I appreciate that.
All right, man.
The Soundboy Session with Teddy Abrokwa. Real vibes, real conversations. Visit the website, thesoundboysession.com. Follow on all socials at The Soundboy Session.